stuff that he think I don't know about. He think he got one up on me. I don't know. He think he got a mole somewhere. I told him I got a mole.
The boxing world is in turmoil after shocking news broke that Tank Davis is now in federal custody over match-fixing claims in his controversial fight against Lamont Roach Jr. Just days after whispers of an investigation surfaced, the situation has escalated dramatically.
The commission gets this right. It was a bummer not being declared the winner on a technicality that could be righted. That wrong could be righted, obviously, in different ways.
It all began when reports revealed that referee Steve Willis, who oversaw the fight, provided crucial details supporting allegations that the match was rigged. Fans and analysts had already questioned the draw, believing Roach had done enough to win. Now, with federal officials involved, those suspicions seem justified.
I think Lamont Roach, I think he landed more punches throughout the fight. I think Tank was used to, figuring it out, having that slow start, figuring it out around the third, fourth round. And I think
controversy erupted the moment the fight ended. Roach appeared to outperform Davis in several rounds, making many believe he deserved the win. But the ninth round sparked major concerns. Davis unexpectedly dropped to one knee mid-fight. Referee Willis started counting, but suddenly stopped, ruling it wasn't a knockdown. That decision changed everything. If Willis had counted it, Roach would have won that round 10-8, possibly securing victory. Instead, the fight was ruled a draw, leaving Roach furious and fans outraged.
What's your thoughts when you first heard that?
That they wasn't going to overturn it?
Yeah.
I mean, I expected that. I don't really see them doing that. Tank is too big of an attraction. New York.
Davis's explanation for taking a knee was baffling. He claimed that excess grease in his hair mixed with sweat, causing it to drip into his eyes and burn, forcing him to kneel. Fans mocked the excuse, calling it one of the weakest ever given by a boxer. Critics pointed out that fighters endure sweat and blood in their eyes all the time, but never randomly kneel. Roach was livid, saying, "If you take a knee, it's a knockdown. That's the rule." The ref began counting, so why stop? "They stole my win." His team quickly filed an official complaint with the New York State Athletic Commission, demanding a full investigation into the fight's officiating. But the drama didn't stop there.
If you take a knee, you need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the
Suspicions grew when Davis was overheard making an eerie comment to Roach on fight night. He reportedly told him, "They ain't gonna give it to you." Many assumed he was talking about boxing politics, where the more popular fighter often gets favorable decisions. But with the match-fixing allegations, that statement now raises bigger questions. Did Davis already know the result before the fight even started? Was the outcome predetermined? These concerns have led to a full-scale federal probe.
I thought I won the fight clearly. I thought I won a close fight. I thought I won a very competitive fight. Okay. I'm not saying I steamrolled him or whatever. But
federal agents stepped in after Roach's legal team hired top attorneys, who demanded a deeper look into the fight's outcome. They pointed out suspicious betting activity before the match, with a sudden surge of money being placed on a draw. Since draws are one of the rarest results in boxing, this betting trend set off alarms. Investigators are now probing whether insiders leaked information to gamblers. Who knew the result in advance? The biggest twist came when referee Steve Willis provided key details to authorities.
It should have been a knockdown, one. So that's why I'm yelling at the referee, like, keep counting, like, you tripping, keep counting. That's a knockdown. Because if y'all didn't notice, he started the count.
Although the full content of Willis's statement hasn't been made public, sources claim he admitted that outside influences impacted his decisions in the fight. That was enough for federal agents to act, leading to Davis's arrest. His legal troubles have now sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Davis, who has faced past legal issues, is now dealing with what could be the most damaging case of his career.
He wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there.
If these accusations turn out to be true, Davis could face more than just a boxing suspension. Criminal charges could land him behind bars. Boxing insiders are debating what this means for his future. Some say this could mark the downfall of Davis, while others believe his promotional team led by Al Haymon and premier boxing champions will fight to protect him. But even if he avoids jail, his reputation might never recover.
Like when my back is against the wall or against the ropes, it's like, it's time to show up. So it wasn't really hard for me to focus because all I had to do was
Social media has exploded with reactions as fighters and boxing personalities weigh in. Devin Haney, one of Davis's biggest rivals, wasted no time taking shots at him, posting, "Damn. First he fakes injuries to avoid fights, now he's fixing matches. Ain't no way y'all still backing this dude." Oscar De La Hoya, a longtime Davis critic, tweeted, "I've been saying it for years, Tank is protected. The truth always comes out." Even veteran analyst Teddy Atlas slammed the situation, calling it a disgrace to boxing.
I'm still rooting with him. I saw the negativity and people, critics talking, but I think he's one hell of a fighter, and I think he's still the top.
To make matters worse, Davis has been dropped from multiple boxing rankings. Ring Magazine officially removed him from their pound-for-pound list, replacing him with David Benavidez. The backlash is already damaging his career, and if the investigation uncovers more evidence, things could spiral further. There are even discussions that the New York State Athletic Commission may reconsider the fight's decision and possibly overturn it. If that happens, Roach could be declared the true winner. Davis wouldn't just lose his elite status, he could also be stripped of his championship titles.
If they reverse the result of your fight, should they reverse the result of that fight as well?
It just depends. Like if that changes the whole fight, if that gives Roach a victory, give him the victory. That's how you keep the integrity of the sport, right? That's why they suspended me, right, to keep the integrity of the sport. So
as Davis remains in federal custody awaiting his next court appearance, the biggest question is whether he can escape the scandal or if his career is over. If prosecutors have solid proof of match fixing, he could face more than just a boxing ban. He might be looking at serious prison time. Some are drawing comparisons to past boxing controversies, including accusations against Floyd Mayweather for influencing officials. But while Mayweather was never caught in anything this severe, Davis might not be as fortunate. If the claims hold up, this could become one of boxing's biggest scandals in modern history.
He caught me with a good shot, but it was times that I sat in there with him and I'm like, damn, this guy like super slow. Well, not super slow, but he's slow, and I could have took advantage of. I think I was boxing too much in the beginning, and when I feel like
Davis's troubles are piling up fast, and now the boxing community is split on whether he can bounce back or if his career is permanently ruined. Rolando Romero, a former opponent, believes Davis can adjust in a rematch, but his comments sparked debate. Speaking to The Ring, Romero claimed Davis could improve and win next time, saying Roach's performance was so unexpected that even Roach himself was likely surprised. That remark raised eyebrows. Was Romero implying Roach's success was just luck? Because one thing boxing fans agree on, Roach was the superior fighter that night. It wasn't luck, it was skill.
You lost that fight. I mean, the only reason they gave you the fight was because you would make more money as a champion, but there's no way it's a draw, and they didn't call the knockdown. If they called a knockdown, you lost.
Roach outclassed Davis and should have won, if not for questionable refereeing. But now, with Davis facing a federal probe over match fixing, Romero's comments seem even more suspicious. The way Romero spoke about Roach's performance made it sound like a fluke, as if Roach couldn't do it again. But was that really the case? Roach didn't just land lucky punches, he dominated multiple rounds, exposed weaknesses in Davis, and made him uncomfortable. Romero downplaying Roach's skills could be a way to protect his own record. After all, if Roach, who was never considered an elite fighter, was able to trouble Davis, what does that say about Romero, who was knocked out by Davis in the 6th round of their 2020 fight?
People want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a off night and Cruz.
Romero's thoughts on the knee situation caused more debate. None of the punches touch him, he said, pointing out Davis' strange choice to kneel during the fight. That's a serious claim, especially since Davis insisted he went down because sweat burned his eyes. If Romero, who is also a fighter, openly says no punches connected, then why did Davis go down at all? That remains a mystery. Even more confusing, why did the referee begin the count but suddenly stop? Romero even admitted that if the knee had been ruled a knockdown, Davis would have lost. That proves just how important that one moment was in deciding the fight's result.
Are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown. I've heard some people saying, oh, that, you know, he should be disqualified, he went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning, but it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing.
What Romero didn't mention is just as telling as what he did. He avoided bringing up the fact that Davis is now under federal investigation for allegedly fixing the fight. He left out how Davis supposedly told Roach before the match, "They won't give it to you." He also ignored the suspicious betting activity surrounding a draw, which some believe wasn't just random luck. Instead, Romero focused on the idea that Davis had an off night and would do better next time. But how? Can Davis even think about a rematch when he could be facing serious legal trouble? That's the real issue.
You see who it is? Yeah. Who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there is...
Ryan Garcia, another fighter who has faced Davis before, also spoke about the rematch. In an interview with East News, Garcia stated he believes Davis will win the second fight, saying Tank just misjudged Roach and thought he would give up. But this raises another big question. Why did Davis expect Roach to quit? Most likely because he knew something the public didn't. If Davis entered the fight believing the decision would go in his favor, no matter what, then he had no reason to fight aggressively. He wouldn't have trained as hard. And that's exactly what we saw. Davis acted like he had nothing to worry about. He didn't take Roach seriously, and when Roach kept pressing forward, Davis looked lost. It was one of his worst performances ever, and Garcia's claim that Davis was simply caught off guard doesn't explain everything.
You think it was a draw? No. I think Lamont won. Who you thought won? Lamont. You thought Lamont won? By how many rounds? I don't know.
What makes things even messier is the fact that Davis and Roach had a $250,000 wager before the match. Davis bet that he would knock Roach out, but when the fight ended in a draw, it wasn't clear if Davis ever paid up. If he didn't, that adds another shady element to the situation. Davis risked a huge amount of money on a result that never happened. Despite possibly knowing in advance how the fight would go, that alone raises serious concerns. And if Davis truly believed he would score a knockout, then why did he fight so passively? Why did he kneel? None of it adds up unless you step back and see the bigger picture. The good news for Roach is that a rematch is already planned. Whether it happens in 2024 or 2025, both teams are eager to run it back. But the truth is, a second fight can only be fair if all the corruption from the first one is fully exposed. If Davis is found guilty of fixing the match, then how could anyone trust that the next fight will be any different? And more importantly, should Davis even be allowed to compete again? If he tampered with the outcome of a professional bout, shouldn't he be banned? The worst part of this entire scandal is that it's hurting boxing's reputation. The sport has already been struggling with bad judging, shady business moves, and big fights taking years to happen.
You will never see that fight happen again. It just will not happen. Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't like hard fights. It's that simple. We've seen it over and over. He fought a Ryan Garcia drained. He fought a very inexperienced Rolly Romero. He will not fight Devin Haney. He will not fight Shakur. He will not fight Pitbull Cruz.
If one of boxing's biggest stars, Gervonta Davis, is guilty of fixing a match, it would deal another major blow to the sport's credibility. It would be even worse than the accusations about Floyd Mayweather carefully choosing opponents or Canelo Alvarez benefiting from questionable scorecards. This would be pure fraud. And if Davis is responsible, it proves that boxing has a much bigger problem than just one fighter. Meanwhile, Davis is still trying to save his image. Even though he's in custody, his team is working nonstop to change the story. They want people to believe this is just another example of Davis being unfairly targeted. But let's be real, he has been caught up in too many scandals for this to be a coincidence. From his legal troubles to his clashes with the law and now a federal probe, this is starting to look like a pattern. And boxing fans are getting fed up. Right now, Davis is into battles won in court and one in the public eye.
Throw it enough.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning. And you know, like, you can get knocked out like that, so I'd rather take the...
He's losing both. Even if he gets released and the rematch happens, his reputation will never be the same, no matter what. There will always be doubt surrounding his name. And if he somehow wins the second fight, critics will just claim it. was another rigged result. Lamont Roach Jr. might have been robbed the first time, but he's gained something more valuable: the public's trust. If any fighter has benefited from this scandal, it's Roach. He was the underdog, the one nobody expected to win, yet he exposed one of boxing's biggest stars. Now, regardless of what happens in the rematch, fans will remember the night he made Gervonta Davis look vulnerable.
Can't wait. You know it's time. Can't wait. Can't wait. You know it's time. Can't wait. Yeah.
Jonas also mentioned a crucial factor that could change everything this time: Davis' mindset. You've got Gervonta, who's probably going to be angrier, more alert, and highly focused. That's a big shift from Davis' attitude before. The first fight, back then, he was talking about retiring, acting like he had nothing left to prove, and barely promoting the event. Now, his undefeated record remains intact, but his image as an unbeatable fighter has been shattered. This time, he has no choice but to be fully locked in. If he isn't, Roach Jr. could do exactly what he almost did the first time: take the WBA lightweight title.
Literally saw the mental breakdown of Tank. Like, again, if you got that elite level why, you know what you saw. He was intimidated by Roach, and it was like baffling to see. Why was he moving? Because to me, he was intimidated by Roach. To me,
that message alone tells you everything about Roach Jr.'s mindset going into the rematch. He believes he was cheated, and now he's returning with even greater determination. The first time, he wasn't expected to win, he was just supposed to be another opponent for Davis. But now he's the fighter who exposed Gervonta Davis. And this time, he's coming to finish the job. What do you think? Share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.